Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. We are back once again in my garage with the Nissan 370Z. And I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I've just been really busy with school and work and everything like that. Business ideas I'm trying to start. Just really busy in life in general. But basically today's video is going to be about my brakes on this car because the brakes on this car have been a huge pain. Luckily now the problem is fixed, but it took me a lot more money than I planned for, and it just was not a fun time. So for those of you who don't know, this is a 2016 Nissan 370Z Sport Tech, which means that I have the Sport package and I have the Bose sound system, the backup camera, the whole infotainment system. So it's a great package. I highly recommend it if you can find it, but basically I have the Sport brakes, okay? And normally they are red, and as you can see, they are now gray. I decided to switch the color on them because not only were they cheaper to get brand new calipers, but they just look better in my opinion. They go well with the gun metallic paint color. But basically these rotors, if you look at the rotors, they are no longer slotted. They are no longer drilled. They are OEM factory brand new. So I had new rotors installed. I had new calipers installed. I had new brake fluid put in. So I had them drain the old fluid out, put the new stuff in, and I went with Motul 5.1 fluid for the brakes. And from my research, it looks like that's actually a really good one to run on an application like this. But basically, with these brakes here, originally I had the OEM ones, of course, that's the way the car came. And then I switched to drilled and slotted rotors. And then I had some problems with some sound, and I thought that maybe it was due to the rotors themselves or the pads or whatnot. So I was switching around different factors to try to figure out which one it was. So I tried switching from drilled and slotted rotors to just slotted rotors. I tried changing the pads from the ceramic pads that I had installed on the drilled and slotted ones. I had those pads changed to, I believe it's Stop Tech street pads. I had those put on, and the sound still persisted. So I thought maybe it was the rotors. So I switched back, and basically it was a huge pain. I was switching between 2 different sets of rotors and 3 different sets of pads, trying to figure out this issue here. So it cost me a lot of money, and then the labor cost as well added to it. So it wasn't fun. But after trying different things, finally the issue was resolved with a whole new rotor, pad, and caliper and brake fluid. Like all those were changed on this last time around, and the issue is gone now. And what the issue that I was having was actually due to the slotted rotors. It didn't matter if it was drilled and slotted or just slotted by itself, because what was happening is, I guess, the slots were building up rust in the slots themselves. And so every time I back on my driveway, it would screech really loud. And it wouldn't matter if I changed the pad type. It was the slotted rotors themselves that were causing the problem. So I had to kind of narrow it down to that, but in order to narrow it down, I had to keep paying some people to do labor on the car to figure this out, to diagnose it, to switch things out, trying to figure out where the problem was. And then basically at the end of all this, after all the money I'd already spent, I just basically said, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm going to do all new OEM everything, and that's where we are now. But I do like having the new calipers on here because they are fresh paint and everything, like looking real nice. And they were very careful when they put them on too, so I really appreciate that. A big shout out to that shop that did that for me. But these calipers are the gray color, which don't normally come on this car. Normally they are red. And I have the red ones actually in this pile over here because I'm trying to sell off everything I had. So I have some slotted rotors here. I have the pads, ceramic pads from Z1 Motorsports, and all the calipers. So the red calipers, the rear and fronts. So all of that I've got right here. And I'm trying to sell it, but it's taking a while to sell. But I am trying to get rid of this out of my garage. I'm giving a massive discount on everything too. So if anyone's interested, let me know. I will probably still be selling this by the time you see this video. So let me know if you want any of that. But you know, with this car, I try to do things right with it, and it just kind of really bugged me that the brakes were having problems. Like it bugged me a lot. It also took a lot of money that I didn't plan for, so I had to pull out of my savings just to fix the problem with the brakes. So I tried initially to upgrade my brakes, right, to put slotted rotors on there, drilled in slotted rotors to make it not only look better but also respond better, especially if I decide to take it to the track once in a while. At the end of the day, drilled and slotted rotors and slotted by themselves, any rotor with the slots in them, they just didn't work for my car, for my application here. So it may work for some, but it didn't work for me. The sound that it was making was so loud that you could hear it across the neighborhood. It was super loud. At first, the shops and I that I was working with, we thought it was something like a pin rubbing on something, or the pad wasn't seated right. But after they looked at everything and they saw it looks like it's installed correctly, it just baffled them that they didn't really know what was going on. So, and that's why after trying different things, I had everything switched to factory, OEM, brand new everything, just trying to eliminate the problem for good. It was not cheap to buy all of these because these calipers and the rotors and the pads and the brake fluid, to get all of that for the entire car, I mean, I was looking at, I think, $2,800, about that much. So $2,800, and that is before labor. So yeah, basically it wasn't fun to get this whole thing redone. So it sucks that it costed so much to get this whole thing fixed, but it had to be done. It was so obnoxious, I could not handle it. And my neighbors, of course, were not having a fun time hearing me start this car and drive away at like 3:30, 4 in the morning sometimes. That's not fun when I'm the center of attention, when I'm just trying to leave the driveway. So basically everything's all good now. It just costed, like I said, a lot more than I planned for, and I highly recommend Z1 Motorsports for most of their parts, but when it comes to their slotted rotors, I do not recommend the slotted rotors from Z1 Motorsports, because those are the ones that I got, and it seems like even when I had them switched, it still had the same problem. So I'm not really sure what was going on with that, but I'm not going to use them for those parts. I use them for other parts, but not when it comes to brakes. But yeah, that's basically my story on this. It costed me a lot more than I wanted to spend. Actually set me back quite a bit financially, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. But I think the car looks nicer with the other brakes, with the calipers being a gray color. I think it really matches the theme of this car. And pretty much I learned a valuable lesson from this. I learned how these different processes work, how different pads affect things, how different rotors affect things. So I learned a lot of things from this experience, but I would encourage those of you who are debating on upgrading your rotor style to like a slotted or drilled and slotted rotor, learn from my experience. This may not apply to every car, but at least for this car, just be careful on which brand you get. If you guys would like to see more content regarding the 370Z, or if you have any questions regarding my experience with this, let me know in the comments down below, because I can go further in depth. With all that being said, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.